Hey, how's it going? This is Melinda and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking to you about the 25 best produced records ever made. I should say albums, because I'm going to be talking to you about vinyl records, CDs, an SACD is in here, originals, reissues. Not only am I talking about what the records they think were the best produced ever made, I'm talking to you about different versions, what they consider the best versions. And I'm not talking about a little blue ribbon panel of 5 guys that got together to tell us what they think is the best. No, these were voted on by people like you and me who think we are audiophiles. We love the music. We love when it sounds amazing. So yes, there are some records on here that you would absolutely expect to make this list, giving it credibility, but there's also some surprises that I thought were really cool. There's honestly records I've never heard of before that I now have heard because I wanted to give them a listen so I knew what they sounded like. It's just been a cool and fun video to make. So if only 2 people, my husband and my daughter, if you're the only ones that watch this video, I just want to say the research was a lot of fun. And this list was put on, I ran into an article from Headphonesty, and I'm not even sure I'm pronouncing that correctly. I think it's a website. I think a lot of the people who follow that website listen through headphones, but I think you can listen through headphones or not. And these records stand out as being very, very good. Again, I love that the people who follow Headphonesty and who read and listen to what they have to say voted in on this. Instead of just a few audiophiles picking what they think is best. So here's number 25, and this is a shocker, but it makes total sense. Metallica, the Black Album. This is, they're self-titled, and you know, I didn't expect this to hit the top 25 ever made. But it does sound pretty darn good. I had some friends come over a couple months ago, and one of my friends recommended they wanted to listen to some Metallica. And I put on my 2014 vinyl reissue, and wow, it was pretty amazing. We were all listening and enjoying what we were hearing. Now, according to the people who took the survey, the best sounding version of this Black Album by Metallica is the 1991 CD. So I don't have that, but I do love this. So I kind of understand how this one made the top 25, and it's a breath of fresh air to see it here. Now, the next one is a record I don't have, and it is by Radiohead called In Rainbows. It's one that I gave a listen to, even though I've never heard it before. Now, the recommended version, and I did take notes, y'all. I couldn't remember all 25 of the best sounding versions, so I did take notes. The best sounding version of In Rainbow is 2016 2LP XL from the Optimal Pressing Plant. So again, that one is considered to be one of the best. Now, at 23, I did not expect this one to hit the list at all. I can think of other albums by Rush that I would put ahead of this for my ears. But I happen to have the copy they recommend, and I kind of see where they're coming from because it does sound pretty good. It is Rush, Power Windows. The recommended version is the 2015 version by Sean McGee, the direct metal mastering. Now, on the early versions of the Rush albums, I'll admit I like the originals over these reissues. This is the only copy I have of Power Windows, so I can't compare. But I can tell you this direct metal mastering version does sound really good. So I can see where people really love it. So now at 22, again, we come into a record that I don't have, but I'm going to now be on the hunt for. Surf's Up by the Beach Boys. They're saying, according to the survey, that it got voted in because they like the way the harmonies sound. They're different from other records made by the Beach Boys. The recommended version of this is on vinyl from Analog Productions, the 45 RPM version. Sadly, I don't think it's available at Acoustic Sounds anymore. But if I ever see this record out in the wild, even if it's not that particular copy, I'm probably gonna buy it just out of curiosity of how it sounds on vinyl. I was able to stream it. I like it, but again, I thought that was a very interesting choice because usually Pet Sounds is the one that, we see on these lists all the time. So it's kind of cool to see Surf's Up. Now, at number 21 is a record that I've never heard of before, but I gave it a listen and I understand. Now, I don't have a record of this, but I can see where it probably does sound pretty good because there's a lot of beautiful acoustic guitar playing, kind of slows down in some of the songs, speeds up in other. It's Dusk by The. Don't know that band. I've heard of them, but I didn't know this. And the original 1993 UK version is the one to own, according to this survey. And it's pretty pricey, but so I'm just going to continue to stream that one. I probably, unless some amazing reissue comes out of that, I'm not going to be spending the big bucks on that one. But I love that something I'd never heard of before, and now I know and got acquainted to. I love that that's on this one. At number 20 is one that really shocked me because, yes, I know a couple of the songs. It is Icehouse, Man of Colors. I guess I just never dreamed that this would sound good. I'm going to pick it up the next time I see it. Of course, I know the song Crazy and Electric Blue from my youth. I remember them very well. And yes, according to the survey, it has that 80s sheen, but it also has something really organic going on about it. People just really like the way this record sounds. They like the way it was produced. Enough so that they gave it the number 20 spot. So at 20, Icehouse, Man of Colors. And at number 19, a record I see here and there, but I never really dreamed of buying because I'm not a big fan of the song The Lady in Red. Chris de Burgh, Into the Light. They're saying that this one just has a beautiful, warm, rich sound. So now I'm curious. So at number 19, they're saying the original UK version on AMM is the one to own. So I probably won't run into a UK version. I'll be honest, where I live, rarely do I ever see UK versions of records. They're usually US versions. I don't know that I need that record, but it's cool that that one made it and at number 19. Now at number 18 is a record I know very well. Most of us do. It's the Alan Parsons Project, the album Pyramid. And this is not the last time you will be seeing the Alan Parsons Project. This one is a US pressing. They recommend the original US, or UK, I should say, on Arista. But you know what? This US pressing sounds pretty good. And it's not expensive. You can buy it, put it on your turntable, and you will love the way this sounds. Now at number 17 is Talk Talk, The Color of Spring. Again, I have a Talk Talk record in my collection. I didn't have that one, but I think it sounds beautiful. I streamed it. I can only imagine what an original UK Parlophone CD would sound like. That's the one, according to the survey, they recommend. I'm more of a vinyl girl, so I'd probably buy the vinyl record before I buy a CD. But you know what, you guys, a lot of you buy CDs, look out for that one. They're saying that one sounds absolutely amazing. And after that, here we go into a record I do have, the Paul Simon, Graceland. So at number 16, yeah, I can understand that one. This one is one of those that makes that top 25. And I love it. I have great memories of listening to it at a theme park I worked at. They would play Diamond on the Soles of Our Shoes all the time. Call Me Al. This is just a really great record. The one they recommend most is a 2015 Legacy 45 RPM that was mastered by Ryan K. Smith. So if you happen to see that one out or for sale, you might want to pick that one up. Evidently, that one sounds absolutely amazing. And then at number 15 is Welcome to the Pleasure Dome by Frankie. I always want to say Frankie and the Knockouts, but I know that's not right. It's Frankie Goes to Hollywood. Now, I don't have that full album, but I do have the 12-inch single. And if that whole album sounds as good as this 12-inch single does, wow, holy smokes. This is a great sounding song and probably, evidently, a great sounding record because a lot of people voted for it. At number 14, here we are back at Alan Parsons, Turn of a Friendly Card. Now they're saying that the original UK Honorista, again, this is from 1980. They're saying that one sounds the absolute best, but I say a lot of these sound great. I have a US pressing original and it sounds wonderful. So again, Alan Parsons Project. This next one really put a smile on my face because not only do I love this record at number 13, but I absolutely am thrilled to own the pressing that they say is the best. And I recently, in the last few weeks, did a blind test with my husband. And out of all the copies of this record I have, I chose this one as the best too. And it is the 1996 Mobile Fidelity version of Toto 4. I mean, the layers that is on Africa, so beautiful. I mean, and to be honest with you, from the drums coming in on Rosanna, no other version of that record sounded as good to me as this one does. However, it's ridiculously expensive, and I'm not sure that what you pay for it is actually worth what you're getting. I would say if you don't want to pay this, if you run into that CBS Half-Speed Master that came out many, many years ago, pick that one up, or pick up the Mastering Labs TML in the Dead Wax. I don't recommend the Sterling version, but TML, yes, that one sounds really, really good. So number 13, Toto 4, the Mobile Fidelity from 1996 wins it. And now we're going into number 12, and this is a great record. Dire Straits, Communique. Now they say the recommended versions of this one is the Mobile Fidelity 45 RPM or the SHM SACD. But I really just like this version. This one is a 2009 version mastered by Bernie Grundman. And I saw where Because Sound Matters is somewhere listed somehow in the credits too. I think this sounds beautiful, but you know, I haven't heard that SACD and I haven't heard the Mobile Fidelity versions. And I'm pretty sure they sound absolutely amazing. But for me, I'm very content, and I think this is a beautiful sounding record. You know, I've got a top 5 of guitar players, but I can't. I mean, Lindsey Buckingham and Mark Knopfler are trying to knock off Joe Walsh and Prince. For some reason, I've just been really interested and blown away by Lindsey Buckingham and Mark Knopfler when it comes to guitar players. They're so impressive. Now at number 11, a record I don't have, Steven Wilson, Hand Cannot Erase. I'm not familiar with that one at all. So they're saying that it is tracked and mixed with surround sound in mind. So again, I've never seen that record and I have yet to hear it, but it is so well loved that it comes in at a number 11 on here. So I think that's pretty cool. Now at number 10 is a record that I don't have and now I want because I listened to it. The song Humpty Dumpty blew me away and now I have to have this record. Chick Corea, The Mad Hatter. The recommended version is the original US. And in the dead wax, the mastering engineer, BG, it has to be Bernie Grundman, right? So now I've got to have that Chick Corea record because I think it must sound absolutely amazing. I listened to it, I streamed it, and I really love that record now. So that's always wonderful, right? When you discover new music, I think that's also really cool. Now, number 9 is a record that eventually I do want to pick up. It is Jennifer Warren's famous Blue Raincoat. The recommended version of it is the Impex 45 RPM 3 LP set, mastered by, again, Bernie Grundman. And I can tell you this is a beautiful record. The Ballad of the Runaway Horse, you can get that one if you buy this Impex record. The Ballad of the Runaway Horse is a song that a lot of people play when they are setting up their stereo equipment, professionals. That is a song to listen to that helps you set up your stereo equipment. So I think that says a lot right there. This is a very beloved record that absolutely sounds amazing. So amazing that it's in the top 10. So now that moves us to number 8. And I don't have what they say is the best version, but I have one that I'm very content with. For one, I have an original US on the Reprise label, but I also have the Mobile Fidelity 2LP 45 RPM version. And I love this record so much. The song River on here is my favorite. I think this sounds absolutely amazing. The one that is recommended in this survey is the 2021 Bernie Grundman remaster, as well as the DCC Gold CD that came out in 1999. But I'm content with my Mobile Fidelity one step and my original. I feel like that's all I personally need. However, if I ever ran into either one of those, I might buy them out of curiosity. Now at number 7 is one that I use as a test record myself. It is Mobile Fidelity 45 RPM, Dire Straits, Brothers in Arms. I listen to this every time I'm reviewing a new piece of stereo equipment in my room. The intro into Money for Nothing is like a souffle for me. Try to understand what I mean by this. If all of the stereo equipment and the new piece of equipment I have is working well with everything, it rises and sounds amazing. But if there's a piece of equipment in my chain that doesn't sound that great or isn't great, it will fall flat. That's why I call it a souffle. But this is a beautiful sounding record. They recommend the Mobile Fidelity 45 RPM version, along with the original on CD. So if you have an original CD of this was a digital recording, or this one. I also think originals sound really great too. So don't knock those. Now, the next one at number 6 is Supertramp's Crime of the Century. And I have just this old Mobile Fidelity version that I'm really impressed with and I think sounds great. It was given to me from a viewer. He found it at a garage sale, has a little water damage on the album cover, but the record sounds pretty good. And the recommended version on this one is a Speaker's Corner AAA version. So, I don't know. Would an old UHQR sound amazing as well? I would think so. I've never had the opportunity to hear it, but I can imagine that one would also be one to own. So at number 6 is Supertramp's Crime of the Century, and we're now up to the top 5 best produced records ever made. This one falls a little shorter than I thought it would. I thought this one would be a little closer to the top, but 5 is a really good place to be. Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon. Now, of course, the ones that are voted on as being the best, for one, a First Press UK. Duh, of course, but it's probably $1,000, especially to get a quiet pressing that hasn't been played that often. Good luck finding that. Believe me, I would love to own it. But they also voted in the 30th anniversary, mastered by Kevin Gray. And he told me personally that this is an analog cut that he did. So the 30th anniversary version sounds absolutely beautiful. But you know what? If you don't have this, you don't have the UK version. I have the just a US pressing that was mastered, what they call a Wally cut. That is absolutely gorgeous. I have a German quad version that also sounds great. I don't think you can really go wrong with Dark Side of the Moon. That's why it's at number 5. Now, at number 4, a great record, kind of surprising. The next one after this was the shocker of all of them, though, I won't lie. Gaucho by Steely Dan. And they're saying that a first pressing, Robert Ludwig pressing, I have RL in the dead wax on this one. I love it. But they also say that Analog Productions UHQR, they put it right up there with this original. I don't know if mine's even an original. I know it has RL in a dead wax. And every time I put it on, I think to myself, why would I ever need another copy of this record? It's gorgeous. It sounds beautiful. And of course, I'm a big fan of the song Hey 19. I love it. So at number 4, Gaucho by Steely Dan. At number 3, out of everything on this list, this one shocked me the most. And I happen to have the copy they recommend. I only bought it a couple of months ago. Peter Gabriel's So. I did not expect that. Did you expect that? This one is a 2016 half-speed mastered 2LP 45 RPM version of this, and that is what they say they recommend according to the survey. And I have to admit, yeah, it sounds pretty good. I really love it. Now these top 2, I can't believe we're at the top 2, right? I mean, come on, think about it. Think about it, you know? Yes, these, you'll be like, okay, yeah, totally saw these coming. Donald Fagen's The Nightfly. This one brings me so much joy. And I don't even have what they recommend. They recommend the early Japanese West Germany CD. I don't have that one. But what I do have, it's on Quiex vinyl, which is very quiet, and it is a Robert Ludwig mastering original. And I also have the Mobile Fidelity version that came out in 1984, and this one beats that one. I don't have the one step, but I have heard so many people say that's the definitive copy. But, you know, I'd love to hear that CD now too. Regardless, this one is so beautiful and makes me so happy to own. I don't know if I'll ever own another copy based on price because those one steps are so expensive. But yeah, Donald Fagen, The Nightfly, of course. This one, you know, you can't go to Expona or any of those places and not hear that because it's just such an amazing sounding record. And again, I went to Tone Vendor a couple of months ago and I was record shopping. There was a guy in there and they were playing Donald Fagen's The Nightfly just overall in the room. Sounded great. And there was a guy in there, and not only was he singing the song, he was singing the music of the song. He knew this inside and out. Normally, that would be pretty annoying. But because this guy was enjoying himself so much, and because it did sound so good in the room, totally acceptable. And I actually got into what he was doing. I thought, this is really cool. What a fun time that guy's having, looking at records and getting into the music at the record store. That's what it's all about. And now, here is number one. This is the one, not a blue ribbon panel. This was voted by the people who follow Headphonesty and voted for this. So a little drum roll. I haven't done this in a while, right? A drum roll, but let's go ahead and do it. At number one, Steely Dan's Asia. Yeah, of course, right? That seems obvious. What a great record. Now, the recommended versions is the Cisco version that I don't own, mastered by Kevin Gray. So congratulations, Kevin Gray. How awesome. And this UHQR, and I believe this one was mastered by Bernie Grundman. So I guess Chad Kassem, Bernie Grundman, and Kevin Gray are all the homecoming kings of this video. Congratulations. Wow. Yeah, of course, Asia sounds so amazing. This UHQR is great. I haven't owned a bad version of this record. They all sound to varying degrees of greatness. But yeah, this UHQR blew my mind. It is so fantastic. So these are the top 25 well-produced records ever made, according to the people who voted in on Headphonesty. Let me know where they got it wrong and where they got it right. And just remember, I'm just telling you what they voted for. Of course, some of these would make the cut for me. Some of these might not. Either way, it's just cool to see people voting, sharing their opinions. And it was just a lot of fun to talk about. Let me know what your favorite produced records are and why in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, hit the like button and the notification bell. But most importantly, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.